Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, Episode 8, The Secret Project. Well, we've done it. We've built an airplane large enough to carry the cargo and at the right altitude for the right length of time at the right speed. And we've finally been told our cargo. It's this nifty little rocket plane, a la the North American X-15, which was an experimental rocket plane in the mid-60s. It was not the first to go into space. Obviously, the Mercury astronauts were, but it did make a lot of trips into suborbit and brought back a lot of nifty information. So here's our heavy cargo plane, the Bear, making its takeoff run with that X-15 and fearless Jeb strapped into the cockpit of that small winged missile bolted to the top of a hypersonic cargo plane. You'll notice that we finally did go ahead and install Ferrum Aerospace, and if you'll look off to the left hand side of the screen, you'll see also that our MapSat stuff is finally working. So this is not the first time we've taken this plane out for a test run, but it is the first time with this cargo strapped to the roof, which does make for some rather interesting characteristics. Still extraordinarily stable in time acceleration. There's that little buffet indicating that we are passing the Mach 1 mark, sorry. And just a little wiggle of instability, and it does not want to pitch down because I have forgotten to turn the flaps back to their neutral position. There we go. So now if we can just get a angle that's a little more appropriate for building up a lot of speed over a long trajectory, we'll go ahead and keep those throttles pegged. We've got more than enough fuel to circumnavigate. Not quite at full throttle, but it'll probably make it all the way around the globe if you keep it between 50 and 75%. This cargo liner, when empty, anyway, is incredibly adapted to just gliding around. Not the world's most nimble creature, but it will keep itself afloat. And if you couldn't tell by our incredibly short runway time there at takeoff, it's the aerodynamic characteristics of it are quite solid. I did put together about a 3-minute fast-forward video of putting this thing together. And yeah, the idea was based on the B9 Strakowski jetliner, but really just the visual reference was all I really went from. Hand tooled it all together. It is about 95% B9 parts, and not ashamed of that. These are wonderful parts. I highly recommend this mod. If you can get you can find the DLLs on the forum to keep them working with 0.23 and 0.235. Definitely worth it. And I'm noticing with our higher center of mass, thanks to our cargo, we are having some trouble pitching the nose down a little bit. Alright, starting to get some heating effects here. It's starting to get a little engine overheat as well, so it might be time to start thinking about launching our little space plane here and seeing if we can't get a good orbit out of it. Now the actual X-15 never made it quite to orbit, but did get into technical space on a suborbital trajectory. Jeb, you're in control here. Ooh, lots of heating effects. Fire up that rocket motor, get it throttled up. Release. Oh, yep. And our front tire gets stuck on the Bear, but we are off. And full burn. Let's keep that nose pointed up just a little bit. Like I said, the object here is just to get it into orbit. Don't have a whole lot of fuel to go from, but we had a nice high start and a nice fast start too. And I do apologize about this being shot at night. I know it doesn't make for the greatest footage, but I was just really excited to try, and forgot to wait until morning. I'm saying game time, this is literally like 10 minutes after our last flight landed and taxied up to the spaceplane hangar. Oh wow. Oh yeah, I think we can get an orbit out of that. Let's bring our heading down a little bit. Stretch that around. Wow, that's nice and high. Alright, Jeb, way to go. You are officially in a space plane now. And a little barrel victory roll there. Don't get too crazy. Alright. Now that's cool. Alright. Let's just get our heading a little below horizon there, see if we can't just bring that a little closer to an actual orbit. We're going to make a burn out here when we get there, of course. But we should probably go save that guy. Shame to waste that perfectly good cargo plane. And we've got a quite a while before we get to our periapsis. Apoapsis. Whoa! Okay, yeah. That violent course change might be due to the fact that our nose gear kind of belted into the cockpit there on release. Slow him down. Oh! Okay. Air brakes. That's... yeah, okay. We surely would have blacked out with that many negative G's. So, assuming now that he's coming to after banging his face against the console, we're not all that far from KSP. We're really hoping that we can get him turned around and get him home before our little X-15 gets to where it's going. But if we want to make any kind of maneuvers at all, we need to slow down some more. I'm probably not going to flip on those air brakes again. That might have been a terrible idea. So yeah. I know with Deadly Reentry installed, which I do have installed, you can kill Kerbals with a too much G force. But thankfully that bit of rapid deceleration there was not quite enough to kill him. Man, we still have just gobs of fuel in this thing. A long, slow, supersonic turnaround. Go ahead and set our heading in at about 270 degrees. Kick those bad boys back up to full thrust. And time warp. Time warp does make things a lot faster, but does necessitate the rather frequent coming out of it to make course corrections. Just gonna kind of yaw kick our tail around. Alright, Still plenty of time before he gets up there. No, not quite. Man. Very interesting. This whole mission is actually a big first for me. I've done some rather unsuccessful space planes and SSTOs in the past, but I've never really tried to launch a rocket plane from a jet plane before. So definitely a big first for me, and happy to say that so far it's going surprisingly well. I guess a big measure of this success is going to be if we can bring both craft back to KSP successfully. And, each of them in one piece would be ideal, but I'd settle for several pieces as long as they're all at KSP and everyone survives. Yeah, this thing's pretty fast. Alright, I guess we should start to slow down and make our approach, huh? Not generally a good idea to try to bank this steeply and make course corrections at hypersonic speeds, but it's Kerbal Space Program. We're cool like that. Alright, we need to shed a bunch of altitude and get about 15 to 20 degrees of changing our heading here if we're going to have any chance of hitting this runway in any kind of straight line manner. Air travel would be a lot cooler if American Airlines banked that steeply. And again, night flying is not my favorite thing. Night landings are definitely one of my least favorite things. But at least the runway is lit. And way over there, man, I mucked that approach up pretty bad. Oh, I hope Jeb's doing okay. I kind of wish Jeb was flying this thing. He's so much better at this stuff. Oh, that may have overcorrected again. Bring it back. Yeah, way overcorrected. Alright. Let's just use a little yaw and kick it around a little bit. Overcorrected yet again. Okay. This is a pretty decent approach. We just need to shift it a little bit. How's Jeb doing? Uh-oh. Alright, we gotta hurry this up. Alright, gear down and locked. Uh-oh. I may be a bit too low. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, kill it. Bring it in. Oh, we bounced. Ooh. And that's what happens when you leave your brakes on. Alright, we gotta get him off the runway. Why is this... Why are we taxiing so weird? I may have damaged a landing gear. Come on, you big heavy bear. Alright, we just need you clear the runway. Alright, that's good enough. Congratulations. First part of this flight has been massively successful. Alright, let's go check on our Jebediah. Our super cool X-15 space plane, which we will aptly rename here. X-15A1. Oh, and make orbit he certainly did. I wish I could get rid of that thing. I hope it doesn't give us problems later on. Alright. The whole point here was to actually orbit, not just be a suborbital trajectory. So let's get our node plotted here. Take it a little higher than that. I don't want to do a nighttime landing in a glider. The whole point of being orbital is to make an orbit. Yeah? I'm happy with that. Let's turn those solar cells towards the sun. Yeah. We've already got orbital science from our trip to the moon in episodes 1/2. Didn't bother to put science stuff on this because really the whole point was just to see if it could be done, not really to gather a bunch of information. And now we just want to wait for KSP to make daybreak. Officially now, we have made a full orbit. Alright, and there's KSP coming up into the light, so we're going to plot our braking burn and our deorbiting maneuver. Will come. Alright. That looks good. And we'll make another burn before we get to periaps to hopefully bring us down right on top of KSP so that we can make a landing on the runway. Is really the goal, is to bring everything back to KSP. But if we have to make a landing somewhere on some grasslands, I'm not opposed to that. But bringing Jeb home will be no small feat, as it will be a glider re-entry, but that will be in the next episode. So thanks for joining me. If you liked this video, please hit like. If you didn't like it, hit like anyway, and tell me why you hated it in the comments. And until next time, I'm the Cosmonaut. I will see you later.